Welcome to the Land Your Bet Sports Betting Show. Got a bunch of games here on Wednesday, another 10-game slate. 11 teams, though, are on a back-to-back here, so we don't have that much to work with early here on Wednesday morning, but I do have one bet down on the card and a bunch of looks from the couple games that we can actually guess who's going to play. We've got injury reports a little bit more solidified for like 2 of these games, so I'll be looking deeply into those at the bets that I want to play, plus the one bet that I have on the card. And we will go over Monday, which sucked. And it's on me, honestly. I'm looking at bets that I deserve to win, didn't deserve to win. I didn't deserve to win. The losses were pretty deserved in themselves. So we'll go over that real quick. So that means we are starting over in terms of that little ladder that we're building up here to get you guys as much off on a discount here into VIP as we can. We are at 45%. Going to hope for a winning night tonight so that we can get back to 40% off on that VIP, get as many folks in there for the playoffs as possible. So if that all sounds good, give this video a like. Let's get right into it. 4-8, minus 3.8 units. This is the season right now. It's been up and down the last month and a half. Win 3 units, lose 3 units, win a unit, lose a unit. So we're down to 37.7. Still not giving up hope on 50 units by the end of Sunday here. So feeling good about tonight with a lot of more games to choose from. But looking at these wins real quick, Miles Bridges, keep giving us that. We'll take it. Under 27.5 PRA in a game against a good defense like the Grizzlies. Love that under. He's not even playing. He actually played a couple more minutes than I thought he would. Still got to the under there. Zach Edey probably should have laddered this thing. He ended with 19 boards. Felt amazing about it. And he had 9 at the half. Got 2 real quick ones there in the third quarter. So we cashed that bet really quickly. Jalen Brunson, plus 158 on the threes. I told you guys that when JB plays against the Celtics, his 3-point attempts go up. He took 12. I had him at 8 to hit 3. He took 12 and hit 5. So nice little win there. And then Ant had 4 boards at the half. This 4.5 number is too low, especially in a situation where he was playing the Bucks, who suck at limiting rebounds to guards. So nice little easy win on that one. And everything else sucked. Wendell Carter, here's the mistake that I made on Wendell Carter. This is why we talk about matchups being so important. Wendell Carter was not being guarded by Onyeka Okongwu. Onyeka was guarding Paolo. So he got a much easier matchup. He got Mo Gay. He got some George Niang. Didn't work out. Wendell Carter had like 10 at the half, so that was a quick loss. It's what we call no sweat, as Daft Previews likes to say. No sweat, because I didn't even have to worry that it might hit. It definitely was not going to hit right out the gate. George Niang had 2 boards at the half. Come back in the third quarter, he gets a board taken away from him. So we lose on the hook. Awesome. Love watching the statisticians be the reason that we lose hundreds to thousands of dollars. What a sport and a time that we're living in. Okongwu, I guess another bad bet there. I liked the under for him when I found out that he was guarding Paolo. He ended with 10, so we lose on the hook, or excuse me, 11. So we end on the hook once again on the under there. I don't have much for you on that one. He had an absolutely incredible game, ended like leading the team in points and rebounds, had a bunch of assists as well. Just a loss, just going to take the loss, deserved. What I missed there was Okongwu's playing better. I guess I honestly will continue to go under 10.5 boards for him if I can, especially against teams that are limiting centers to the second fewest rebounds per game in the Magic there. But things were a little bit weirder for Okongwu guarding Paolo. Not sure how to really cap that moving forward. So probably going to stay away from that kind of stuff against the Magic, especially because those 2 teams are probably going to face off in the first round of the play-in tournament. Then Buddy Hield sucked, went 3 for 8. He got in the doghouse right away. There's a clip online of Steve Kerr, the head coach of the Dubs, yelling at Buddy saying, "Hey, Buddy, have you ever met Steph Curry? This is the greatest 3-point shooter in the history of the league. Pass him the ball when you see him wide open on the court." That got him benched, because if you don't pass the ball to Steph when he's open, you sit down next to Steve Kerr. That's how it works. So we missed both the ladder and the core bet for him, but they did wax the floor with the Suns. So still feeling like it was a good look, because I thought they were going to win by so much. And Buddy is a guy that you want to play in blowouts. Didn't work out. So we'll have to revisit Buddy in the blowouts, but do have a good feeling about this Dubs team right now. Isaiah Joe and Aaron Wiggins tried to get ahead of the injury reports. And the lesson here is what I'm doing today, why I don't have more than just one bet down on the card this morning so far, is because I can't trust these injury reports. I don't know who's playing. I really thought, just like everybody else thought, that the Lakers were going to sit everybody against the Thunder, which is why Isaiah Joe and Aaron Wiggins as backups would have been great picks. But they weren't, because they didn't sit everybody. And it was about a minute after I placed these bets that James and Doncic and Dorian Finney-Smith and Gabe Vincent and Austin, everybody's ruled in as soon as I make those bets, which was just unforeseen. So not going to try to get cute and get ahead of the injury reports. Like I said, going to wait to have the actual information in pocket before I go ahead and bet on stuff. Jason Tatum, 6 rebounds and assists in the first quarter, 6 rebounds and assists in the next 3 quarters. That one was really frustrating. He ended with about 12 potential assists and just 5 assists. So, decent there. The rebound chances, about 14, ended with 7. Thought he would have more in a good game for him to do that. When Jason Tatum is playing with all of the starters that are available for Boston, he's way better. But then Jaylen Brown didn't play. Jaylen Brown played 22 minutes, so he wasn't on court with Jason Tatum. As a result, the rest of the game, Jason Tatum isn't rebounding and assisting. But Jaylen Brown being on court and being available is super crucial for us with Jason Tatum's rebounds and assists. So that's why we go back to that stuff. And that's ended up being why it didn't hit, because Jaylen Brown wasn't out there. So we take our licks. No use from hiding. Those of you who are in the chat talking about me ducking from hiding from losses, that just ain't it. Like, I know how this goes. I'm not going to stop betting or stop making content for y'all because I didn't win last night and haven't won every night. Just how the game works here. But I still want to give y'all a chance to get into the VIP for a free month. So those of y'all who are trying to wait for those discounts, if you just want to get one free month, not wait for the discount, you can sign up for any of the sports books that are listed in the description of the video. That'll go ahead and get you all the bonus, right? Get your bonus money, get all your free bets and all that kind of stuff. And then just send me a screenshot showing me that you signed up using that code. I'm at JLBoogie. Twitter or Discord are the two best ways to get a hold of me. Just send me a screenshot showing me that you signed up using that code for any of these books that I'm partnered with. Like I said, all listed in the description of the video, and I'll go ahead and get you that free month in the VIP. So hope to see y'all in there. Let's go ahead and jump into what we've got here for Wednesday. As always, going to be using Props Madness here on the show, the #1 sports betting research tool for all things hoops. This is going to save you a lot of time. You don't need to go researching 10 different websites to get the info you need here. This is all on Props Madness with all the filters you need, some really great shot charts, how recent players have done against this team. There's no tool that has everything the way that this one does. So if you do want to jump in on Props Madness, use code LYB. You can trial it out for 7 days to see if you like it before you make that purchase, and then you get 25% off your first month using that code. So like I said at the top, don't have enough information to bet on a number of these games, and I would caution people against betting on games like the Sixers Wizards, the Hornets Raptors, two teams that are not trying. Really tough to gauge how to bet on a sport when two teams are not trying. So I'm going to go down to this Nuggets Kings game. I do know that these teams are trying, and I know that the Nuggets are now without Mike Malone, but at the very least, we know who is and who is not playing. And for the Nuggets, Jamal Murray is doubtful. So I can at least use that information for the Kings. We know Monk is out, and then we've got Keegan Murray is questionable, but I can still look at some stuff here, especially for the Nuggets, which is where I'm starting, because with Murray out, we've got to look at how that impacts all of these Nuggets players. So let's start with Michael Porter Jr., because I do know that the way that I see him being impacted a lot by this is the points, right? So what I want to do here is go to games with and without, make sure that we have Jokic in, Christian Brown in, Aaron Gordon in, Russell Westbrook in, and let's go ahead and take Jamal Murray out. So that's going to give everybody about 7 games who's going to be playing tonight without Murray. And if you look at Porter Jr., nice hit rate here, over in 6 of 7, averaging 21 a game. Pretty good matchup as well. As you look at this Kings defense, they are dead last, limiting exactly what he wants to do, which is score off of the spot up. So you can see the play type analysis. They are dead last, limiting his preferred play type, the spot up. Makes sense. Also his shot zone, also second or third worst, limiting shots above the break here, where he's shooting most of his shots from 3 up above the break in the wing, right? So that's a really good consideration for my MPJ, is going to be over 17.5 points. Not really trying to mess with too much else. That seems to be the biggest difference when Jamal Murray is out for MPJ, is the points go up. For a guy like Aaron Gordon, interestingly, I kind of like the assists for him. If you look at this with the points, not as sexy for Aaron Gordon at about 11 points per game, under in most of these games that he's played without Murray, but with all these other cats right here. But the thing that's interesting is the dimes, right? The dimes go way up for this guy. He goes to 4.4 versus the 3.3 that he's at on the season. You can get this at plus money still for his dimes. The matchup specifically for forwards for Aaron Gordon against the Kings, they're actually much worse limiting points than they are most other stuff. You can see if you hover over defensive rank versus position, they're 16th, so middle of the pack in terms of the defense against forwards, limiting that stuff. But the points for Aaron Gordon are a better matchup with the Kings, right? If you look at defensive ranking versus position, if you actually go make him a power forward, they're going to give up the second most points per game to power forwards on the season. So that is where I'm going to place Aaron Gordon. I think the points and assists are a good look, as well as just the assists. That's how I'm going to be looking to play this game here. Waiting to see what market pressure does. This is probably going to be fully at 19.5 for the points and assists. But the thing for Aaron Gordon to consider with Murray out is the dimes more than anything. The matchup dictates that we should play the points. So I got to do a little bit more digging to see if we actually want to put a bet down on him. But right now, liking the assists more than anything else. Let's go over to Russ as well, because it's a similar thing here. And this is why I'm also sort of waffling between assists for Gordon and maybe assists for Russ. Because for Russ, he goes up to 6.4. You look at potential assists, which we always talk about as super important. You can see here he's at 12 per game in these situations where he's without Murray and the rest of these Nuggets are playing. On the season, he's at 10.4. And if you put Murray on court with him, he's at about 9 potential assists per game with Jamal playing with him. So this is a big uptick for Russ, right? A really nice hit rate. The potentials go up to about 12. I like him to get 6 assists on 12 potentials. This seems like a good matchup for him. And since we've talked about 2 different players with assist props that we like, we at least have to go up to Jokic and go, so that probably means his assists go down, right? So if you look at the points, and let's make sure we have everybody out here. I think we're missing Michael Porter Jr. Let's put him on here. So we put MPJ back out there. If you look at this 7, like he's at a decent hit rate, 4 of 7. On the points here for Jokic, 33.7, but those clearly go up, right? There's an uptick in points without Murray. The assists are what might surprise some people. This is actually an under. If you get 10.5, now it looks like the market is catching up that 10.5 is too many dimes for Jokic when he plays without Murray. Murray is a big beneficiary of the Jokic assists, right? They run the dribble handoff, they run the screen and roll together consistently. So they're a yin and yang in that sense, and they're really dependent and intercorrelated in terms of Jokic assists, Murray's availability. 9.3 dimes. The potential assist drop as well, right? 15.4 in these games without Murray, with everybody playing. 16.6 when he's playing with Murray and most people as well. So he's a lot more likely to dime up when he's got his full, cast of characters, and most importantly, his sidekick, the Robin to the Batman, Jamal Murray. So without Murray, we actually look at an under for Jokic on the assists, potentially an over on the points. Although again, market is catching up. That 31.5 is a lot. Even for a dude averaging 30 a game on the season, 32 points is a lot of points, right? It's just, this is what he tends to do without Murray. And then the boards, probably also good. Not much of a difference there in terms of the rebounds or the rebound chances, 21 or 20. It's actually probably a good bet to go over, but I don't know if I have enough of an edge here at 12.5. Maybe at even money, this is continuing to go up. But for Jokic, if you're going to play something, I'm looking at under dimes over points. Just want to make that clear. Quick run through for Michael Porter Jr. I like an over on the points. Don't really want to touch anything else. And then Aaron Gordon, I like the assists. Don't really like much else. And then for Russ Westbrook, I also like the assists. I just don't know that I want to have both Russ and Aaron Gordon. If I do that, maybe it's a little bit of a parlay, like Russ over assists, Aaron Gordon over assists, Jokic under assists, something like that to get us to a nice, 5-7 to 1 in that range. But right now, still got to figure out how I want to play those 3 or 4 guys exactly in terms of the dimes and the points. For those of y'all wondering about Christian Brown, because obviously he should be mentioned here as well, his stuff actually doesn't get impacted enough for me to really like it that much. If you look at these situations, 16.7 points per game without Murray, with everybody, but he's barely climbing over, like 17 points in these matchups versus worse defenses than the Kings. I'll say that, even though the Kings have been bad, these 3 defenses, especially in November, December, for these 3 games where he went over, not really impressive. The assists, yeah, they're at about 3, but I'm not really trying to take 2.5 minus 145, and I'm not trying to take 4 for him to get 4 of these at plus money either. So my point here for Christian Brown is he doesn't actually change enough. You would think that Brown was someone who went way up with Murray off court, but to be honest, he's not that impacted by it because he doesn't do the same stuff, right? It's actually Russ who's going to have the ball in his hands a little bit more. Christian Brown's still going to be off ball. So I don't know that I have a much of an edge on any of his props here. On the other side of the ball, I am looking at Keon Ellis, and I am looking at his dimes, and we're getting this at what we call flat, like minus 110 on both sides, minus 115. You can get minus 105 on DK, but I love the dimes for him. What I want to look at is games where De'Aaron Fox is out and games where Malik Monk is out, right? Now, the problem is, this is a really nice number, 3.8 per game, over in 5 of 6. The problem is Domantas Sabonis also missed a number of these games. So what we have to do is also take Domas out, and that ruins our sample size. That's the problem, is that now we go, Domas is in, not out. So we got to put Domas on court, and that means that with those games, we're down to just 2 examples of Keon Ellis playing without Monk, without Fox, and with Sabonis. But in both those games, 7 potential assists to get 4 of them. If he's going to get 7 potentials, I mean, I'm absolutely going to take him to get 3 dimes against the Nuggets, who allow the 3rd most assists per game and the 2nd most to guards overall, right? So this is a great opportunity for Keon to get some dimes. The passes go up a bit. You can see 49 passes, 38 passes. Like, he's still involved in the offense, even though DeMar and Zach LaVine are going to have the ball in their hands a ton. The assists look like a really good play for him with such a low number without those guys. So that's the look that I'm probably going to be getting down on the card here in just a bit for Keon Ellis. As we jump into the other game that I feel like we can actually look at here, it is the Blazers and the Jazz. But go ahead and give the video a like. If you're getting anything out of this, goes a really long way to support the channel, so much appreciated there. Definitely want to get into a couple things here, but I should let you know this is the bet that I have. So if you're still with me here, you've got my first best bet of the day, which is Kyle Filipowski to go over on the points. All I really want to mess with here for Flip, I'm calling him Flip, by the way. I'm not saying Filipowski every time. What I've got here for Flip is everybody's out, but most importantly, Walker Kessler is out. So let's take him out, and you're going to see a lot of red at the beginning of the season, but he's still at about 24, 25, 18, 21, 11. He's not playing very much at the beginning of the season. Now, without Kessler and without most other guys, like nobody's really available with Markkanen out and Collins and everybody's out. Isaiah Collier's even questionable right now. We got to make sure we give him the minutes. Like, we've got to project him for at least 28, and I think he's good for 30 tonight. There's really no other big except for Micah Potter that's going to be able to come in and sort of hang on the floor out there with guys like Donovan Clingan on the other side. So for Flip, although I don't love although the rebounds look good at times, right? He's at about 10 per game when he plays without Kessler, gets these minutes, nice hit rate. I think he's going to be playing with a lot of Micah Potter, and this is not a great matchup for rebounds. Now, if you look at the last game he played against them, he had 36 minutes, 19 rebound chances, which should be good for about 10 boards, right? I don't trust it, though. Like, I don't want Flip in a situation where he's playing a good rebounding team like the Blazers, and he's got a better rebounder on the floor with him. I don't want to have to bank on him to get boards in this game. Just not right for it. The points, though, I think are good. 15 plus. If you wanted to ladder it to 20, it's like plus 300 for him to get 20 plus points. I haven't gone that far with it yet. I think 18 plus is a little bit doable, but it's about plus 150 on DK. Either way, the points themselves at 14.5, minus 106, great number. I would play this up to 15.5 if it happens to get there, which you don't even have to make that decision if you don't want to. But Flip in this situation against the Blazers, who are good at limiting most things for centers on the season, the points are the way to go, much more so than the boards. And one thing for consideration here, if you can play 1.5 assists, also like that, I definitely think he's getting 2 in this game. He's got about 5 potentials per game. You can see down here, he goes from 3 potentials to 5 potentials per game. If he's going to be at 5 potential assists, I do like him to get 2, even at like minus 170. So what I'm probably going to be looking at here is maybe a simple 10 plus points, 2 plus assists for Flip. That kind of simple little parlay should get us a little bit more juice on our money here on the dimes, and definitely feel good about him getting 10 points. So that's the one bet that I love from this game. We should at least mention I'll probably be going to Donovan Clingan on the boards. We need to see what's up with, we've got Denny Avdia questionable, a couple other Q tags that I have listed here too. Denny Avdia is going to be questionable, and so is Anthony Simons, Duop Reith. So all 3 of those guys, especially Avdia for the boards, want to see what happens there real quick, but definitely going to be getting bets down on some of these Blazers players, depending on what happens with Simons and Avdia most importantly, and we'll see what happens with Duop Reith as well. That is all the time I have for you guys in this one. Make sure that you remember, if you do want to get in on the VIP access, you can get a free month on the VIP. Sign up for any of the sports books that are listed in the description of the video here, and the links to them as well, so you can just go right to them, use that code, get you all the bonus bets that you need for the new books that you might be signing up for, and then just send me that screenshot letting me know that you did it. I'll go ahead and get you a free month in the VIP here so we can get into some playoff action together as well. So hope to see y'all soon, and until I do, happy betting.